'Twas the mark of the highest call. And no matter what comes my way, I'm not stressing. Those days are all behind me. I'm wiser, I'm stronger, and my hope is built in you, Lord. I'm not looking back, I'm moving forward, not gonna let my past stand in my way. I won't give up, I'm gonna keep pushing. No one can knock, steer me wrong, stay strong, 'cause I'm more than a conqueror. I've been told that I would never amount to anything, and I was foolish to believe the devil had me deceived. 'Cause I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So the enemy got power over my life, 'cause I gave it to Christ, and now I'm wise. I am wiser, I am stronger. My hope is built in you, Lord. I'm not looking back, I'm moving forward. Not gonna let my past stand in my way. I won't give up, I'm gonna keep pushing. No one can knock me down, steer me wrong, stay strong, 'cause I'm more than a conqueror. Look back over my life, I wanna say thank you. I wanna thank you, Lord.
Forgive my daily behavior is what I say to my Savior before I fall asleep. And for the record, Lord is my shepherd, blessing we all a sheep. They call it street. Quick crush the autumn leaf and they call it peace for the conqueror. About my collar leash, now the walls are breathe. We all are meet. Heaven's one, we all
Looking back, I'm moving forward, not gonna let my past stand in my way. I won't give up, I'm gonna keep pushing. No one can knock me down, steer me wrong, stay strong, 'cause I'm more than a conqueror. I'm moving forward, not gonna let my past stand in my way. I won't give up, I'm gonna keep pushing. No one can knock me down, steer me wrong, stay strong, 'cause I'm more than a conqueror. I'm pressing towards the mark of the highest call. And no matter what comes my way, I'm not stressing. Those days are all behind me. I'm wiser, I'm stronger, and my hope is built in you, Lord. I'm not looking back, I'm moving forward, not gonna let my...
Well, and hello again. We would like to welcome you to another edition of the Living Strong Television Network broadcast, where I am your guest speaker, Prophet Scottie Lee Johnson, coming to you live out of the Whosoever Will Outreach Ministry. We're located 2121 Tillman Highway, located right here in the beautiful city of Jesup, of Ridgeland, South Carolina, under the leadership of none other than Pastor Josie and Bostick, along with Dr. Earl Bostick, Sr., DMD. And what I want you to do right now is make sure that you call a friend and call a neighbor and let them know that the fastest 30 minutes in broadcast, it is coming your way right now. And I tell you, the good news about everything that is happening right now, and I want you to remember this, the good news is that the bad news was wrong. That's the good news for today. Now, we've come through a great series, and I'm not going to go back and start naming them all again from the beginning, the power of a changed mind, all the way up to halfway the greater of God, then the return release. And now we are looking at, after the challenge of the chosen, we are looking at the blessing of giving. I got so excited on last night because we got into something that I feel is very important with where God has taken us and taken the nation and taken America. And I'm praying for each and every person that is watching Living Strong, that you will continue to hold on, to be encouraged, to lift up your heads, and to look to the hills from which cometh your help, knowing that your help comes from the Lord. The reason why there's so much to talk about in this is because just looking recently here at what's happening in America, looking at what's happening in the nations, things that are unprecedented and unparalleled to mankind, in the midst of everything that is happening, God is still in the miracle working business, and he's still working miracles. You know, we are, praying for the people and the families up in the Cleveland, Ohio area, with what happened with the 3 young ladies there, and the fact that, God just birthed a miracle once again to show that all is not lost. And this is why you've got to understand that giving protects. The Bible says, bring you all your tithe into the storehouse, in the book of Malachi, that there may be meat in mine house. And see if I will not open up the window of heaven, and herewith pour you out a blessing, that you shall not have room enough to receive. So we're looking also back in the book of Hebrews, and we're going to pick up where we left off last night, talking about the blessing of giving. And this is dealing with Abraham in Melchizedek and what God had promised Abraham. But there's some twists and turns in here that I think is going to be very exciting on tonight. So don't forget to call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know it's not too late. Living Strong is on. Fastest 30 minutes coming your way. Hebrews chapter number 7. just the fact that Abraham met him, sold into him and gave a tenth of all his spoils. And then after that, he doesn't have any descendants, without mother, without father, beginning of days nor end of days. So when Abraham took and gave into Melchizedek, there was some divine plan that God had based upon tithing and based upon how he was able to take from the heart of man and give unto the work of God through the priesthood of God, because Melchizedek was the first example of giving unto the priesthood of God. And you will sit back and you will see people say, I'm not giving my preachers all the money. Well, wake up. You're going to give it to someone who cannot even do half of what preachers or Melchizedek could do, because Abraham sold into his destiny, and he sold into something, watch this, that didn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end. So that means that everything Abraham put in Melchizedek could go anywhere in expansion of time and dimension and not be limited by the thought of how much he gave, because it was spread abroad throughout the fact that Melchizedek came from the ancients of old. So he sold off into the ancients of old. And when he sold this into this man, God looked and the Lord saw what he had done. And that's why the Lord saying, surely multiplying I will multiply thee, and blessing I will bless thee. And the reason why is because everything about Abraham that he sold into Melchizedek was nothing but complete multiplication. God had to multiply him because the man didn't have no end. How would you like to sow a seed into God and the seed that you sow into God keep growing? Never stop. You give $1, it go from $1 to $2 to $3, it'll keep jumping. Well, this is what Abraham has done. And he is so good with this in obeying God and being a blessing. This is why you need to give. This is why you need to log on P.O. Box, and I want to get this right tonight. It is 363, okay, Ridgeland, South Carolina. And so you can log on and get that P.O. Box 363, not 336, 363. And so, therefore, he sold into this, but God had other plans, not just for Abraham, but for Abraham's descendants. Giving not only blesses you, but it also blesses the seed that are coming after you. And once you do this, it cannot be taken away. It's interest in the bank, but the only difference is can't no thieves and can't no robbers break in. You know, they can go stick up First Union, something like that. But you can't, you ever see, well, I better take that back, because people do stick up God every Sunday. The Bible said, will a man rob God? Yes, they do. They go to church every Sunday sticking up God, holding God hostage. Yeah, they do rob him too. So, but once you sow into his kingdom, guess what? Can't nobody break into there and rob him. The only ones that rob him are the ones that ain't giving nothing to him. The ones that sow into him, he got their stuff in the bank. And can't no thief and no robber break into that. And don't no moth and no rust corrupt that. Okay? So, I'm just slow walking and taking it easy tonight. And I want you to get this. That's why I don't want to rush this message. Because when you're talking about the blessing of giving, it's not something you want to move too fast with. It's almost like something you want to sink in. Because if you ever notice that's offering time, you go to any church on Sunday, you'll see that when offering times comes up, the Church of Christ turns into the Church of Ice. And you would also see that Holy Rock, everything that was body rocking start body stopping, and Holy Rock turned into freeze box. It's amazing. I have never seen Frosty the Snowman visit places so much except at church on Sundays when it comes to the offering time. It's amazing how Frosty the Snowman is resurrected on Sundays. But nevertheless, thank God we got a little heat index coming up now. Maybe Frosty get melt and we can put him back together in the winter. Now, in verse number 3, it says, without father, without mother, without descendants, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God. So made like unto the Son of God means, like unto the Son of God. So it must be some difference and similarities there at the same time. Now verse number 4 says, now consider how great this man was. That's what people will miss. They'll miss the man, how great he is, by looking at the man. Now consider how great this man was. Why? Because God is saying consider the high priesthood of this man and God operating through him. You see, so unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave a tenth of the spoils. Now, that tells me something right there about Abraham, that if it says even Abraham gave a tenth to him, so he had to be great. Now, I'm wondering if Abraham was a little bit stingy. I wonder about that part, because it says right here, now consider how great this man was, unto whom even Abraham, or even the patriarch Abraham gave, unto whom even? I don't want nobody to come up and say, he's good, so I'm just going to whom even. No, I kind of feel like Abraham knew there was something special about this guy, so he sold into the greater. Because you're going to see here why he did that. He sold up. And when he sold up, God was able to pull him up. This is why it's very important for you to know the 3 rules of tithing. Number 1, you want to take 10%. You want to give it to God. Then number 2, you want to take another 10% and you want to give it to yourself. Put that in the bank. And then number 3, you want to take another 10% and you want to set it aside for the poor and needy. Those are the 3 types of tithe that I've learned. And that other 70%, that's enough to take you and your family a mighty long ways. And those are the 3 rules. That if you follow those, you'll always be blessed of the Lord. Number 1, you give God his. Number 2, actually, you give to the poor second. Number 3, then you give to yourself third. Okay? And then you'll see God bless. Well, I know what you just said. I'm giving all of it to myself. Well, that's why they're charging you taxes for the hamburger. Now, we're going to look at this a little bit further. And verse number 5 says, and verily they that are of the sons of Levi, it's going to get exciting right here, who received the office of the priesthood, because that Levitical priesthood, they operating behind the scene in the congregation. You know, you got the congregation and then you got the ministerial part. And they're the ones that's governing things and running things. That's why you got to be careful with who you get on your staff and who you got working behind the scene with you. Because you can't have nobody back there nosy in your business that's telling all your business. Get them out of your business and let them go run their own business. Now, and he goes on to say that, and verily, and he received the tithe of the office of the priesthood. This is in verse number 5. And have a commandment to take tithe of the people. You see that? He was given a commandment. Take tithe of the people. He wasn't trying to take tithe from the people so he can go and get them a big house, get them a nice donkey to ride on. Well, it would have been a nice car back then. He was taking the tithe of the people because that was the way the people was getting blessed. Whenever you give, God opens this up for you to be blessed. And oftentimes, have you ever noticed that there's been so much facade and so much camouflage that done hit just people everywhere? It's such a dog-eat-dog world, so much greed. You see on TV, they talk about American greed. You see, and people, they'll go out, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. You see them manipulate every dollar and everything, every dime that they can get. And you go and you see everything you got to pay for, you got to put taxes on it. And all of this, and everything in society seems like it's designed to take, and only to take. And even the devil will take the love away from you if you had some. If you had somebody to love you, the devil try to go and take that away. He don't want you to have nothing. So the world and the system is designed so that each and every person builds more and more and more. The Bible declares that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Well, I tell you what, Jesus is that good man that left, and he's the only one that's good, because the Bible says that there's none good, no, not one, but God, okay? And he was God and is God. And so, therefore, we see that he made that statement. But peradventure upon earth, who could find a good man? You'll find a man, or who could find a righteous man, or a just man, you know? And so what happens is that the Lord allows men, male and female, to gather throughout life resources and wealth, whether it's through singing, whether it's through opportunity, time and chance, Hollywood, baseball, sports, football, it doesn't matter. Whatever your talent is, whatever your gift is. And then he allows you to use what he gave you. He gave you the talents. He gave you the gifts. And he allows you to use those talents and gifts to be a blessing back into his ministry. Remember, Ananias and Sapphira, when the disciples came and asked them, how much did you sell the land for? And they said, for so much. Ananias came in, told a lie. Did Sapphira came in and she told a lie? And the disciples said, look, the same one that came to take out your husband is here to take you out now. But you've not lied unto man, but you've lied unto God. And so you got people that don't realize the incredible meaning of what it means, and knowing what it means to give and to sow. And so they came, and when they gave in the book of Acts, the Bible says that the apostles, they distributed to each and everyone according as he had needs. And many that had houses and lands, they sold those houses and lands, and they brought it to the church and laid it at the apostles' feet, because we were supposed to be a distribution center. But you notice now, if the bank locally get full, they'll move to a bigger bank. If that bank get full, they'll move to an overseas bank, Cayman Islands or Swiss bank somewhere. And so it's the gathering of more and more and more, and all of that stacks on top of maybe one person or maybe just a group of people. And you have all of that top there and all of that gathering there, and it stays right there. But when it all could just spread and be a blessing to so many people. Abraham realized something about Melchizedek. He realized that he had come in contact with an anointing and a high priest that was able to get him blessed. And you've got to realize that too from time to time. If you're going to do that, sometimes you just got to sit down and take a moment and say, God, I'm going to try this. I'm going to sow a seed. I'm going to release. Sow a seed of $2,013. Sow a seed of $213. Sow a seed. Sow a seed of $113. Do something for God so that he will do something for you. It's amazing that a lot of people do just live just simply by God's grace, just simply off his grace. You know, two type of people in the world, I said the other day, givers, takers. Takers always take, givers always give. Givers always give. But I'm supposed to be excited about this tonight, but there's something on the inside of me that's keeping me so calm. Just almost like God won't even let me crank up. And it's simply because I feel and I hear this in my spirit. Wow. The Lord is saying it's because it's time for him to reach you. He said, I want to reach them now. So let me show you this. And this is really something, because in verse number 5, and verily they that were of the sons of Levi who received the tithe of the office of the priesthood have commanded to take the tithe of the people according to the law. Wouldn't it be something if you didn't pay your tithe, they threw you in jail today? Well, they don't have to do that. You know why? Because the government gets it first. The government get their tithe first off of your check. I think they call it FICA, F-I-C-A. Remind me of a dog that name was Fido. Sick and FICA, Then they got tax right there. And then they got the little amount out to the side. What? FICA takes a lot of money, doesn't it? Get him, FICA. Anyway. Oh, well. Verse number 6. But he whose descent is not counted from the received tithe. Listen to this. Of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises. But whose descent? Your descendants is not counted from them received the Abraham. Watch this. Verse number 7. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the greater, or the less is blessed of the better. That's so exciting. Abraham was smart enough to know that if I'm going to get blessed, I'm going to sow into Melchizedek. And even though, watch this, Isaac may not be born, he's not born, I'm going to take and give into a man that I know God is with. And even though I can't have any children, I'm holding on to a promise. And I'm going to believe God that the less is going to be blessed of the better, because evidently Melchizedek knew something on how to get Abraham blessed. Sometimes you never know how you're going to get blessed until you try it. It's amazing that God can put some things in our spirits and we won't move at the time he tells us to move. And we'll end up missing the blessing. Happens to me all the time. Have you ever tried to buy something, just like I just recently did? And you sit there and you listen to God and you hear God, no, nothing move. But all of a sudden, the moment you make up your mind to go and do what God tells you to do, there it is, it's gone. And I could never figure out why you can give so much of yourself to people and then they take you for granted, And they'll take you for granted as if it's nothing. But Abraham is carrying something here. And verse number 8, and here men that die receive tithe. And here men that die receive tithe. Watch this. He's dead to himself. He's not stingy. He's a giver. Okay? So Abraham making sure, is this the guy that I bless, God? Are you sure? Melchizedek, I'm going to bless him. But watch this. This is what's so strange. He's going to pay Melchizedek 10%. He's going to give the king of Salem 10% of everything he got. He don't have no children. But watch what's getting ready to happen. And the Bible declares, in here men that die receive tithe, but there he receiveth them of whom it is witness that he liveth. Amazing. And as I may say, look at this, as I may so say, Levi also. Where's Levi at? Levi ain't around. Who receiveth tithe, paid tithe in Abraham. How can he pay tithe in Abraham? How can he receive tithe in Abraham? He ain't came yet. God is saying because Abraham obeyed. Now Isaac is going to get blessed. Jacob is going to get blessed. Now the Levitical priesthood is going to come out of that lineage and that line age. And even though they haven't gotten here yet, Abraham already done paid enough for his entire inheritance to be blessed. Which means every seed that came out of Abraham was already blessed because Abraham had already blessed Melchizedek. So he had taken 10% and given it unto God so God could do nothing but bring the promises to pass. When you move on his will, he move on your behalf. The Lord is saying, I'm stirring time once again, and I'm bringing time back into your favor. And it is time for you not to take things for granted, because the less is blessed stuff, the better. And God is saying, without beginning, without end, without mother, without father, I want to give you something that came from somewhere, that came from nowhere, that came from anywhere, that's going everywhere. And he's saying it is time for your breaking to come, but your break is not going to come if you don't realize that your Melchizedek done showed up. You sitting back worried about, oh my God, how you going to get the bills paid, and you worried about Clyde, who he's riding with, and Jennifer or Jackie or Susie or Kelly or Billy or Janie, whoever. You worried about those people, and God is trying to tell you, bless Melchizedek, you bless the high priest, and I'll make sure that nothing in your life is missing and nothing in your life is broken. He'll bring you back to the place of promises, and he'll make sure that you get everything that belongs to you. This man tied up in the loins of Levi. Let's look at this, because I don't know why I'm getting stirred up all of a sudden at the last moment. This man's all of a sudden, he's in the loins of Levi, and look at what the Bible declares. In verse number 10, the Bible declares, for he was yet in the loins of his father. Levi's yet in the loins of Abraham when Melchizedek met him. Oh God, explain that. Abraham meet Melchizedek, and then the next thing you know, you got Levi up in the loins of Abraham. Levi is still in the DNA. Oh, help me to say this the way it should be said. He is still in the sperm count. He haven't left the sperm bank. and Abraham blessed this man, Melchizedek, so when Levi came out, Levi couldn't do nothing but get blessed. That's why the enemy is upset, because he knows that every child of mine is blessed and every child of yours is blessed. As long as you give God what belongs to him, nothing will be missing and nothing will be broken. I feel like it's time something is moving on. Something is happening right now, because he's stirring you to capacity. He don't want you longing for nothing. Lonely days are coming to an end. I don't know who this is. Somebody watching me, you've been so lonely each and every night, and the Lord is saying to tell you, within the 7th month of this year, he's going to break complete loneliness off your life. Prophetic review releases on tomorrow night. He's going to break complete loneliness off your life. And I hear the Lord saying, there's another person right now you're watching. He said, handle with care, because he's going to handle your business with care. There's another person, you're looking for a son. The Lord said to tell you where he is. He's right around the corner. Right around the corner, a friend's house. Right around the corner at a friend's house. Now, there's a mandate that God has. And the Lord is pulling out something. People, do not let the drought get you. Don't let the drags get you. Don't slow down. Do not bog down in this season. Don't bog down. Stay running. Somebody watching me right now, you just said to yourself, should I sow a seed? Should I give? Yes, you need to do that, because the moment you do, the Lord said to tell you the floodgates are going to come open for you. He said the floodgates are going to come open for you like you ain't never seen before, and every bit of education you need is rolling back in. God said do it. You need to do that, because that is for you. For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. Oh, my God. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, listen to this. For under it the people received the law. So we know it wasn't there, don't we? What further need was there that another priest should rise? If it's under the law, ain't no need for another priest to rise. Jesus can stay where he is now. He can't do away with that law. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Listen to this. What further need would there be for another priest to rise after the order of Melchizedek, and not be called after the order of Aaron? Aaron You get everybody in trouble, man. No, of course not. Get your order out the way. Jesus is coming through. And not only is he coming through, but Jesus is coming through redeeming and giving back. You know, they say payback is rough. Oh, man, I don't like paybacks. That's why I don't like to mess up to get nothing paid back with. You know, I'll stay away from payback. Be nice to everybody. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, Melchizedek comes in, and Abraham said, okay, here. And God said, all right, good, Abe, but what we going to do, we're going to get rid of the pigeons, we're going to get rid of the bullocks, we're going to get rid of the sheep, and we're going to get rid of the goats. Soon as Abraham blessed Melchizedek, he had a nightmare. Went to sleep and had a horrible nightmare about fowls of the air coming down to take away his offering. He having to fight them off. Man, I could imagine what that dream was like. After you done bless God, have you ever noticed it seems like the biggest trouble come when you sow the biggest seed? That's because of the fact the enemy was trying to distort your picture and cause you to get your eyes off focus and miss the promise. But I know my time is coming to a close. Tomorrow night is prophetic release, and we're going to pick back up. But I want to share one last thing with you before we go. And the part that I want to say in closing is this right here. Verse number 13, for he of whom these things are spoken pertaining to another tribe, of which man gave attendance at the altar. Which one of you showed up? It's amazing. God so know how to do it. I want to give this last part before I close out. And I won't finish this tonight. Verse number 17 says, for he testified, thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. 16 says, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. Giving. Get you away from the carnal commandment, put you in a life everlasting. I want to say to each and every one of you, you know that fast of 30 minutes is already come and gone. And on tomorrow night is prophetic release. I'll be back with you on tomorrow night talking about prophetic release. And until next time, I want you to thank you for your time. And I want to thank you for your time. And I want to say to each and every one of you that are watching Living Strong, by all means do. Sow a seed, send a seed, because we're talking about the blessing of giving. Hey, that's my time. And until next time, I'll see you. Y'all have a good night, okay? Bye now.